What is going on, everybody? Saturday. I forgot what day it is. It is May 20th, 2017, Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's the Server Room, episode 8. How awesome is that? 8 episodes. Wow. So I'm making sure everything is lively. Looks like we're green. The YouTube channel is receiving the content. I'm not getting any drops so far. I'm super happy so far. I'm excited. Let's give it a few. All right, now we're live. Awesome. So thank you so much. 8 episodes so far. Episode 8, the Server Room. 8 episodes. So that's basically 2 months straight, just providing as much information for you guys. I try to do something different every Saturday. I know in the beginning it looks like it was going to be like a series, like a TV series, but that's not the case. I'm hoping you guys are not having any problems. If you are having any problems, let me know at the chat. If this is your first time here, welcome. As always, if you have the power or the ability to leave a comment right below at the live chat, leave a comment, say hi, say hello, let me know where you guys from. For those that have always been here every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with me, you know the deal. Leave hi, say bye, or whatever. Just say hi to me. Got a couple of you already on the chat. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support. Before I start, I'm going to start pretty soon, but I want to make sure I'm all good to go. All right. So I'm going to leave all the questions at the very end. I do apologize. I just want to get straight into it. All right. So I'm going to take the lower third away. Say goodbye to that. Make sure you follow me at Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I'm everywhere. So I'm going to disable that. I'm going to disable the big me. Bye-bye. And we're going to get started. So today's is all about getting started with Microsoft Azure virtual machines. I've been trying to get into Azure for the longest, even though they give you a 30-day trial thing. But at my job site and a couple of clients that I deal with, they started getting into Azure, and I was super excited. I was like, holy moly, something new that I can learn and also push it out to you guys. So this is the whole reason of this episode, or this show that we're doing today together, is I'm going over the stuff that I've learned so far in a week, and I just want to show it to you guys. I think that if I'm able to show it to you guys, makes me stronger in learning it quickly. If you guys have been playing around with Azure and your infrastructure, hey, I have open ears. Let me know if I'm doing something wrong. I'm just doing everything what I've read on the tech, the TechNet from Microsoft blogs, best practice of how to do things. If you guys have been playing around with this infrastructure, leave comments right below at the live chat, or wait until this video or this show is over, and you could go back into the chat and leave it there. I'm able to read it because I'm always willing to learn from you guys. So I'm going to stop talking and let's just get straight to it. So first slide, virtual networks. So a virtual network is a service that enables you to securely connect Azure resources to each other with virtual networks, or VNets. A VNet is a representation of your own network in the cloud. A VNet is a logical isolation of the Azure cloud dedicated to your subscription. You can also connect VNets to your own premise network. That's awesome. So the way that I'm doing these slides is that all these resources, all these services are what you need to do first to get to the last stage of creating your virtual machine. So we need to create a virtual network. That's the first thing that we need to do inside our Azure portal. The next thing that we need to do is create an NSG, a network security group. Now, a network security group or groups contain a list of security rules that allow or deny network traffic to resources connected to Azure Virtual Networks, VNet. NSGs can be associated to subnets, individual VMs, classic, which I'm still getting a little used to what whole classic and premium is within the Azure world, or individual network interfaces attached to VM's resource manager. When an NSG is associated to a subnet, the rules apply to all resources connected to the subnet. Traffic can further be restricted by also associating an NSG to a VM or a NIC, or a network interface card. Now, NSG groups, to me, this is basically your firewall, right? This is your router. This is where you create your NAT rules and settings. So your on-premise environment, right, your LAN room is capable of talking to the cloud, your infrastructure in the cloud. That's what NSG, you're able to disable TCP IP ports, disable a bunch of other crap, and enable other inbound and outbound. This is basically your built-in firewall. Okay. Next thing that you need to build to get your virtual machine up and running within Azure is your storage account. Now, Azure Storage is the cloud storage solution for modern applications that rely on durability, availability, and scalability to meet the needs of their customers. Now, one of the cool things about storage account is it uses a auto partitioning system that automatically load balances your data based on traffic. So depending on how heavy your traffic is, meaning if you're building a web server, you're gonna get high traffic on that server on your Azure portal. This means that as the demand of your application grows, right, Azure Storage automatically allocates the appropriate resources to meet them. So that's a good thing. Actually, it's a good thing and a bad thing, because depending on what subscription you have within Azure, because Azure is all about money. The more money that you have, the better services that you can have within Azure. If you don't have the cash, because it's really, really expensive. I mean, really expensive. The more stuff that you want to add within your portal, your Azure portal, the more expensive it's going to be. Okay. And the free trial base, which I believe is 30-day trials, they only give you $200, which is not that bad. You could get around and play around with it, but with $200, you definitely can't get an up and running 24/7, 365-day virtual machine running for you. So the best thing that you do is, have to add more money, or, get the premium subscription within Azure. Next thing that you need to do is availability set. Now, in Azure, virtual machines can be placed in a logical grouping called availability set. When you create a virtual machine within an availability set, the Azure platform distributes the placement of those VMs across underlying infrastructure. Should there be a planned maintenance event to Azure platform or underlying hardware/infrastructure for, the use of availability set ensures that at least one VM remains running. So that's a cool thing. This is basically, if you're in the VMware world, if you're inside the VMware world, this is probably like fault tolerance, FT. So if you have like two virtual machines, one goes down, the other one kicks in, and your users won't feel anything if the primary machine goes down. It's like your Active Directory. It's always best practice to have two domain controllers. Why? Because if domain controller 1 goes down, domain controller 2 could be the one that takes over the FSMO roles, and then your users are still able to log in. The permissions are still there to them, for them to access their files within, your file server. And then you're able to go to DC1, manage it, configure it, do whatever you need to do, get that back up and running. And that's it. And then after that, you create your virtual machine. That sounds really easy. So I'm already inside my portal. And within my portal right here, I am going to do is a Control-4. If you guys are wondering why I'm saying Control-4, I'm going to say that a lot because Control-4 is a Zoom utility, or the utility called Zoom from Microsoft site that allows you to zoom in and zoom out. And one of the command is Control-4. So my side panel right here, I kind of customize it with the services that we're going to be using today. By default, you get a crap load of services like load balancing, billing, monitoring, and all that stuff. I kind of managed it easily for what I need to do step by step. Okay, we need to create our virtual network, our network security group, our storage account, availability set, virtual machine, and then Last two things, if you guys look at the bottom of the video at the description, I did a little backup, how to set up a backup and also do a recovery. And if you want to add more services, it's pretty simple. So I'm going to do Control F to get out of there, or Control 4. Go to more services. You see a crap load. There's a lot of them. And eventually, I'm going to get the opportunity to play with all of them. Super excited about that. And I'm going to drag and drop these bad boys and start playing with it a little bit more. I'm super excited because it has Citrix Zen Desktop, Essentials, Zen app. So look out, guys. I'm going to start playing a lot more with Azure. And it's good stuff happening. So let's get started. So I'm going to click on Virtual Network. And believe it or not, like the documentation that I read so far with Azure is naming everything has to be a certain way to manage it correctly. If you have like a naming scheme within your infrastructure, within Microsoft Azure, it changes a little bit. And I'm going to show you why. I'm going to click on Add. And once click on Add, hopefully you guys are able to view everything. You're able to see all the goodness that's happening. And I'm going to do is a Control 4 to zoom in. So as soon as you click Add, this is the information that you will need to fill out for your virtual network. So I'm going to do a VNet dash, let's do BTNHD dash VNet, not equal, dash VNet. VNet. There you go. By default, they give you this IP address pool, this space, but you're capable of changing it. You're able to modify to wherever you want. Let's change it. Let's do 20 dot. There you go. So if everything goes well, you're gonna get the green check mark. And that's always a good thing. You're able to change the address space to whatever you want. The subnet name, I'm going to leave it as the default. And your subnet range, see, I got the exclamation because, again, my address space was changed to 20. So if I change this 10 to 20, the subnet should go green because it fits what I've changed. You pick your subscription. I only have one for now, but most likely, depending on what subscription you have within your Azure, boom, you're good to go. Use existing. I don't have any, so I'm going to create my first one right here, which is super exciting, and I'm going to call this guy BTNHD, all caps. I forgot to tell you guys what resource group is. A resource group is a collection of resources that share the same lifecycle, permissions, and policies. The majority of the stuff that I'm going to be doing with you guys today, like the availability set, the virtual machine, the virtual network, and also the storage account, are all going to be attached within this resource group. You can have multiple resource group, but for now, I don't have one. I'm going to create one called BTNHD. And the location, depending on where you're at, by default, it chose West US. So you have to pick your region. I'm going to pick East US, East side. And I'm going to do is a Control 4 to get out of there. And then once everything is completed, and then you got all these green check marks, which is a good thing, we're going to click on Create. It's going to validate, which is also a good thing. Once it validates, this little guy right here, this little bell, is your notification sign right here. So if I just do a Control 4, this right here is all your notifications. So every time something or you're doing something within your Azure, it goes here. And this, you keep track of what's going on within your notification. Eventually, when everything is finished, it's going to go green. If you click on it, and it's going to take you to this nice little panel. The status, succeeded, duration, 11, resource group that's in, template link gallery, which is awesome. You could download this to customize it, and you could create like PowerShell. You could do everything automated. I haven't gotten to that point yet with Azure using PowerShell, but eventually I am, and that's going to be cool. So as you guys can see, we have a green check mark. Deployment was succeeded. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So right now, I'm going to expand this and go to my virtual networks. And right there, our virtual network is created. So I'm going to click on that, and all the basic information, as you guys can see, our address space. So I'm excited. Ooh, cool. So that's the first thing that we need to do within Azure is create a virtual network. Next thing that we need to do is create our security group or our network security group. So I'm gonna click on that. And again, I don't have anything yet because I'm doing everything fresh with you guys. So we're gonna click on add. And once it clicks on add, we're gonna get a couple of options. And I'm gonna do is a control 4. I know I always have to say control 4. I don't know why. This right here, we're gonna give it a name. You only have 3 fields, so I'm gonna keep it nice and simple. I'm gonna call it BTNHD dash and NSG. Okay, probably seeing a theme. So I add my BTNHD dash and whatever resource I'm using, NSG, Network Security Group. You pick your subscription. You could create a new resource group, but I'm not going to create a resource group because I want to take advantage of the resource group that we created within our virtual network. And then by default, when you first create your virtual network, it's going to automatically pick your East US for the location. That's a great thing. Then we go all the way to the bottom right here and then click on create, control 4. And again, if you go up here in the top, you see a notification. It looks like it's being created and being deployed. So if you click on that notification, it takes you to this nice little window. And you get all this information. Let me, looks like you guys can't hardly see. There you go. So again, it's being deployed. It takes a while, so you gotta do is just do a refresh. It's succeeded. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's go back into our NSG. And that's done. Great. But we need to configure this because when you click on it, you go to overview, look at the 2 options that it gives you, inbound, outbound, security rules. You've probably seen this if you are a network administrator and you deal with your firewall and your switches day to day. You've probably seen this, inbound, outbound, right? By default, they give you rules already. So I'm gonna click on the inbound run. And let's click on default rules. Now the default rules, they already provide you a couple of them. And they give you deny all bound any. That's denied automatically. So that means if you have any inbound rules that you want to have access to this virtual machine, you have to give it access. Meaning I personally want to log into this network when this virtual machine is placed inside this network security group. I have to give it access to something, right? Remote desktop is an option, but we need to enable that remote desktop. So I'm going to click on add. And right here, let's give it a name. I'm going to do remote. And that's priority. Let's give it, let's give it 100. Let's give it 100, right? And we are the custom resource that we're going to do. By default, the services, they give you a lot of services. So let me do a control 4 right here. Yeah, so they give you a lot of services. So you can pick whichever one you want. The one that I'm going to use, which I don't really think it's best practice to do, is the remote one because by default, it's $33.89, I believe. But for the hell of it, we're going to do that. And where are you? Where are you? RDP. There you go. Remote desktop. So by default, remote desktop is $33.89. Don't get me wrong. This is just, I'm playing around with the stuff, but you can always do a custom and then change the port, right? That makes more sense. You change the port so it won't be the default because $33.89 is not a good way to remote into your service because everyone in the world knows that, even the hackers. So just for the hell of it, I'm going to keep it nice and short and simple with us, and it's going to be RDP, and most likely, by default, it's allowed. And we're going to go all the way to the bottom, and we're going to click OK. Awesome. So let me get out of this. Cool. So we created our first rule, and the rule is anything from inbound, any, allow. RDP, actually. RDP allowed, right? Inbound, anything outbound. Okay, yeah. I think I did that right. So let me get out of this and let's get this out of the way. There it goes. Okay, cool. Inbound. So the rule, I created a rule, call it remote, any. Service is going to be RDP, TCP, $33.89, and now I'm allowing it. So I want to have access within my infrastructure that I'm in right now. Remember, all this stuff is in the cloud, so I need access to it. So I open the doors to $33.89. I know, right? It's like opening the gates of hell. But I'm only testing this out with you guys, just showing you guys the basics of what I've learned so far this week. But best practice is do not use the default 3389. Change it. Go to custom. Change it. Okay. Now we created our. Let's go through the list. So we created our virtual network, which is awesome, right? We created our virtual network. We created our network security group, and we also created a rule within inbound security. I'm not doing anything with the outbound as of yet, but I am taking advantage of the default stuff because the default kind of keeps me nice and secure for now. But you're able to customize it even more. Again, the network security group is like a built-in firewall, so take advantage of that. Now, the next thing we need to do is storage account. So let's click on that. And once you click on that, you get this nice little window. It's basically the same thing on the other options that we have. They give you this nice little window, and you just click add. And we click add. Once we click add, you're going to get all this stuff. So I'm not going to do anything here. I'm going to do everything right here. So let's give it a name. And let's call it BTNHD. It's one of those hard things. Let's call it storage. Nice. And if it's a valid, storage, right? If it's a valid name, it gives you a green check mark. I think if you use like numbers, it works. I think if you use spaces don't. So it has to be one word. Characters doesn't work. So any special characters does not work, and it has to be one word. So I'm calling it BTNHD storage. Cool. So your deployment model, resource manager or classic. So let me go over a little here so you guys can see. So use resource manager for new applications and for the latest Azure features, or use classic if you have existing applications deployed in a classic virtual network. Well, I haven't really played a lot with Azure, so I'm gonna leave it as resource manager. Account type is general purpose. Great. Performance. Now this is where the money situation comes in. If you have the money, you're able to dish it out. You go to premium. Premium was actually, it would run and feel like a solid state drive. Like it reads the read and write input and output would feel like you're running everything on a solid state drive, super fast. If not, you don't have the money, you could do standard. Well, I'm gonna do standard for now because that's, I don't allow to have money. But when you click on the little guy right here, if you read it, let's read it together. And it says the standard storage accounts are backed up by magnetic drives and provide the lowest cost per gigabyte. That's what you want. Trying to save some money. They're best for applications that require bulk storage or where data is accessed infrequently. Okay. Premium storage accounts are backed up by solid state drives and offer consistent low latency performance. They can only be used with Azure Virtual Machine Disk and are best for input-output intensive applications like databases. So that's the difference between standard and premium. For this example, because I'm only creating a standard virtual machine, let's do standard. Now, replication, I am getting myself used to the difference. There's 4 types of replications, and the one that I've been using so far is the LRS, which is this guy right here, the locally redundant storage. But there's 4 of them. I haven't mastered as of yet what's what. But for what I've been using and what I've been reading, the LRS is the standard one. It won't cost as much from my understanding. Then you got storage service encryption. You can actually encrypt everything inside your blogs and files, which I'm going to show you what blobs or files are, because your storage account contains individual partitions depending on what kind of services you're going to be doing within your virtual machine. So I'm going to disable that. You're going to pick your sponsorship or your subscription. For me, I got a sponsorship. Lucky me, right? You create a new resource pool. What we're not going to create a resource pool. We're going to do is use an existing one. And from there, we're going to go all the way to the bottom and hit create. Awesome. So once you create and you click on your little guy right here, eventually right here in the bottom it's going to start validating. And it's going to pop up right here in the window. See, so if we click on this little notification, it's going to take it to here. And the status, as you guys can see, is deploying. Awesome. So it's deploying, timestamp, deploying, 2 seconds. You You do a refresh. Normally it's really quick sometimes. Sometimes it takes some time. But it gives you the name, account type. Again, we did the locally redundant storage type, the location. We're not encrypting it. It has been accepted within Azure, so right now it's just creating itself. So let's refresh, and it looks like we're done. Let's take we're done. Awesome. So far we've done the virtual network. Awesome. Our virtual network. We created our NSG, our network security group right here, and we created our inbound rule. And our inbound rule is opening the gates of hell, 3389 for now. I'm not going to leave that rule there. But for us, we're going to do it together. Next thing that we did was create our storage pool. And remember, the name of the storage pool, you can't have any spaces or any special characters. It has to be numbers or characters. And like I said, there's partitions within the storage account. From my understanding, there's blobs, which contains, everything else. Files, tables. I'm going to go back. Get out of here. There's files, tables, and queries. For what I've read so far, the query section is for databasing. This is where your databases are located. I believe tables are for developers, applications. Files and Bobs, I'm still trying to get myself familiar between those two, but from my understanding, this is where, I think Bobs is where your virtual machine, like your VHDX stuff is saved here. And like files, like if you have like a file share or something, this is where it's stored. I'm still learning. So I think that's what these three guys mean. So once we create our storage accounts, the next thing that we need to do is create our availability set. So let's click on that. And again, you get this nice little window. It's real self-explanatory. So we're going to click on add, right? We haven't created anything yet. And let me just do a control-4. And with availability set, it's really self-explanatory, except when it gets up to here. So we're going to create a name. And from here, we are going to do is BTNHD and availability. Dash availability set. Awesome. You pick your subscription, your resource group. I'm going to pick the one that we've been using. Location, by default, it's going to say whatever location you have. For us is East US. And fault tolerance. Fault domains or update domains. By default, they give you 2 and 5. I'm going to leave the fault domains as 2, and I'm going to drop this guy into 2 as well. Can I drop it to 2? There it goes. So fault domains is virtual machines in the same fault domain share common power source and physical network switch. And update domains is virtual machines in the same update domain will be restarted together during planned maintenance. Azure never restarts more than one update domain at a time. So I'm leaving everything as 2 and 2. By default, they give you 2 and 5. And right here, it says use manage disk. Use manage disk set to yes if you plan to create virtual machines in the availability set with managed disk. Yes. So I'm definitely going to hit yes on that because yes, it's going to be a managed disk. And what we're going to do is click on create. Cool. So once that validates, you're going to see it up here at the top. This little guy right here. Yep. There it goes. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And wow, that was pretty fast. How exciting. So let's do a refresh on our availability set. And there it goes. There's the overview. Nice. So fault domain and update domains, we got 2 and 2. We have no virtual machines because we haven't done anything as of yet, which is okay. Next thing that we need to do is create a virtual machine. Wow. Cool. So again, let's click on virtual machine. Let me get this guy out of here. Let me take a little water break and look at the chat and see what's going on. Again, all those individuals that are tuning in, thank you guys. Thank you. So we got Max. Hey, Max, how you doing? Barry, hey, how you doing, Barry? How's everything going? Got Per. Got Barry doing a request. Barry, what you requesting? Dude, can you do a video one day on your lab setup and recording hardware and software? Oh, that's a nice one. I could do that. But what kind of setup? Because I have multiple setups. I have my live stream setup, which I have right now. I have my my how-to setup. You know, when I do the how-to videos for you guys, and I also have when I do like laptops and desktop and hardware, you know, reviews, my hands-on review. That's another setup. So there's like 3 setups in all, and everything varies with hardware depending on how I feel that day. So you got to be more specific. So let me know like which setup you want me to do. Oh, Max is from France. Welcome from France. From Cali. Hey, Spoon. I think it's Spoon 2035. Welcome. Tony. What's up, Tony? We got multiple Tonys. We got Tony H and we got Tony C. Awesome. We got Big R. We got Jeff from Texas. Awesome. Love you guys. Thank you for joining. Got Big R. Big R says, hey, Bernardo, notice you created a public IP address. Should this really be a private IP address unless, of course, you own those public IPs? Oh, cool. So that's a good question. So within my virtual network, let's go inside my virtual network. And where is it? Trying to see. Give me 1 second. Trying to see. Try to remember, because I know what you're talking about, Big R. And Microsoft provides you they provide you public IPs, and then as soon as you kill the virtual machine, that public IP address doesn't exist anymore. If you own a set of IP addresses, you are able to use them within your your Azure portal. But because I don't physically own any network, IP addresses like that, I'm just taking advantage of what Azure is already providing. I'm trying to see where it's at. I know what you're talking about. Where is it? Trying to remember. Yeesh, I can't remember. Resource. Okay. Got the VNA availability. Yeah, but I'm trying to remember where I seen it at. But I know what you mean. Microsoft provides you private and public IP addresses within their pool. If you terminate or shut down the machine, or you allow Azure to give you an IP address every time, or basically if you don't assign an IP address to the virtual machine and you shut it down, it kind of releases it and you lose that IP address. So let's go inside virtual machine. Let's go back here. Thank you, boss. Good job. Thank you. Hello from Germany. Welcome. Hello from Denmark. Finally got the chance to watch your live stream. Love your videos. Thank you. I appreciate the love. Thank you for joining. And let's get back into it. Let's get back to it. All right, so now we're within our virtual machines. I'm going to click on add because it's time for us to create our virtual machine. We created our virtual network. We created our network security group. We created our storage account. We created our availability set. Now it's time to create our virtual machine, right? So I'm going to create a Windows server. But I mean, Azure gives you a crap load of services that you could just take advantage. But everything is a price. Even Ubuntu server is a price. And one of the cool things, they even give you SharePoint, and you could build an entire infrastructure, high availability infrastructure with SharePoint. Holy crap, that's awesome. Just a couple of clicks and you're good to go. But for this video, we're going to deal with Windows Server. And again, this is everything that they give you Windows Server. It's not fully licensed. So when you're paying for Azure, they don't really give you licenses to, like activate your Windows server. They only give you like the container. You have to actually go in there and license it. We are going to be doing trying to find the one that we're going to be doing. Okay, we're going to be doing 2016 Datacenter. This is the one that we're going to deploy. You can actually deploy a server core, which is awesome. Useful links gives you information on what's going on. Resource Manager, classic. For what I've learned so far, what I picked up is Resource Manager is the way to go. And what we're going to do is create. Cool. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit right here. There we go. And once you create your virtual machine, you have 4 options, 4 things to do. You have your basics, your size, your settings, and your summary. And you click create, and then that's it. You're good to go. Where VPN be set up to connect up with Azure. Well, you could create a VPN connection within your on-premise. Let me see. Well, let me see. I'm trying to think this out, Big R, because there's many ways to access your Azure infrastructure to talk to your on-premise infrastructure. One way is within your firewall, within your router, you establish a connection between there, right? Another way is you could create a VPN connection between the two things to start talking to each other. And the other way is if you go inside your NSG and you configure the inbound and outbound rules correctly for your environment to talk to Azure. Okay, that's what I picked up so far. I'm not 100% sure if the 3 that I mentioned are the correct way, or I'm still learning this. But if there is an expert out there that knows how to deal with Azure, I am open ears and willing to listen to you guys. All right, so the name for this, I am going to call it. Let's call it VM01, right? VM disk type, I'm going to do it as HDD, hard drive disk. Username, let's call it BTNHD. There you go. And give it a password. Now, the password, I believe it has to be at least 16 characters or something long. It's pretty intense. So let's give it a password. There it goes. Yeah, they're pretty tight with the passwords. You cannot just give it a password 1. It's not gonna work. They're really strict when it comes down to the password requirements. Your subscription resource, I'm gonna use the existing one that I have, which is BTNHD. By default, it is East US. Save money. This is always a great thing. Save up to 40% with a license you already own. Already have a Windows license. You can hit yes. I'm gonna say, let me see, it says blah blah blah. Let's say if you own a Windows Server license or licenses with an active software insurance, use hybrid, use benefits. I'm gonna say no for now, and we're gonna do okay. Awesome. So step 2. Step 2 is all about this guy right here. This is where the money is loading the price right now, and the prices are just going to be ridiculous. So you have 3 containers, which they give you. The first container, which is A1, which is the cheapest, and this is how much you're going to be paying monthly: about $67 a month. And both of these guys are about $105 a month. It gives you 1 core, about 1.75 gigs. You have 2 data disks, 2x500 max ops, and then load balancing. This one right here gives you 3.5. So this is really up to you or what you want to do within your infrastructure. For this, I am going to just go for it and just I'm going to get the highest one, which is this guy right here. The D1_V2 is the highest standard. So we're going to do that together. And I'm just going to hit select. Okay. And once you do that, you're going to get the third option, which is the settings, configure optional features. Excuse me, guys. It's the allergies. Allergies are killing me. So, okay, Big R. Going back to the live chat. Big R says, I'm guessing it's possible to set up a VPN tunnel on a firewall to connect to Azure so your on-premise data center can talk to Azure. Yes, you could establish that. Or if you don't want to do a VPN access, I think if you establish a VPN tunnel between your Azure and your on-premise infrastructure, that's the safest way because it's a VPN tunnel. It's pretty secure. I think that's the best way to do it. I would definitely go that route because it's nice and safe. Tony says, Big R, you can on AWS, so I'm sure Azure can too. Again, Tony, that's awesome. So we actually have an expert on the live chat that's dealt with IaaS. Yeah, infrastructure as a service. Yeah, I'm learning. So that's awesome, Tony. Tony is using Amazon, which is cool. I've definitely love to hear your 2 cents on it. You probably have more experience dealing with iCloud services and dealing with this type of infrastructure, but that's awesome. All right, so we're on step 3 in creating our virtual machine. We're going to control 4. Sorry. So you have a couple of things that you need to set up. You have use manage disk. By default, it's set to no. It's going to create a storage account for you automatically. Or if you hit no, you click on the option here, and you can pick the storage that we created together. If you hit yes, Azure is nice enough to automatically pick whatever you created for you as the default, which is cool. If you highlight the little I right here, it says enable this feature to have Azure automatically manage the availability of disk to provide data redundancy and fault tolerance without creating and managing storage accounts on your own. Managed disk may not be available in all regions. I'm going to hit yes for that. Once you click yes, that disappears. You don't have to deal with it. That's one less headache that you have to do. Virtual network. We created a virtual network. It looks like by default it is picking our virtual network, but just make sure it's picking the virtual network that we created. Your subnet, again, it is picking the subnet that we're creating because it is the default. That's awesome. But if you create multiple subnets, hey, pick the right one for you. Again, public IP address. And for the public IP address, it is creating it's creating its own IP address. This is, I believe, Big R, this is what you're talking about with the whole private and public IP address. If you own a bunch of private IP addresses, you are able to configure Azure that way. For public IP addresses, Microsoft already provides that for you, which makes it super easy. See, use a public IP address if you want to communicate with the virtual machine from outside the virtual network. I am going to be using this. I'm going to be taking advantage of that. I haven't really got into the world of public IP addresses within Azure as of yet, so this is why I'm letting Azure create it for me. But you are able to create your own public IP addresses and customize it the way that you want it. But I'm not there yet. All right, I'm still a noob. I'm still a baby learning this. Next thing that we need to do is select our network security group, which is our firewall. Again, it's going to try to create one for you, but we created one together, so that's the one that I want to use, BTNHD-NSG, because that inbound rule that I created. Then extensions, I'm not going to worry about extensions. I've dealt with extensions, but I'm not doing it right now with you guys, but eventually I am. Matter of fact, we should do an extension together, so don't worry about it. We're going to deal with extensions today too, but I'm going to leave that as the default. High availability set, we did create one, so we're going to make sure that our availability set that we created together is selected. And that's strange because by default it doesn't pick it for you. That's weird, but it is there. These right here, you got monitoring, boot diagnostics, it's enabled, guest OS diagnostics is disabled. I'm gonna leave that as the default. And this is cool, the diagnostic storage account. You could drop your logs into a specific storage account. I don't recommend placing it in the same storage account that we created, but they do create a storage account for you. And I love the scheme because it says BTNHD dog 478. It's cool. So I'm just gonna use this and do a Control-4 to zoom out, make sure everything is looking good. Yes, I wanted to manage the disk. BTNHD VNets, default. I'm going to leave the public IP. Network security group, firewall, great. Extensions, we're going to go over that soon. Availability, blah, blah, blah. Great. Awesome. So click OK. Nice little summary of what's going on. Everything is validated. Everything passed. Awesome. And one cool thing that I really recommend you guys doing is this: download the template and parameters, because if you download it, one of the cool things about this is this. Look at all this. Look how cool is that? Woo! That is fly. Everything PowerShell, you can automate everything. That's cool. So we're not gonna do that now, but I do recommend doing that. Let's click OK on that. And once you click OK, it is submitting the job. You see it right here in the dashboard is doing its magical thing. Look at that beautiful thing. Guy right here is moving. Deployment in progress. We're creating our first virtual machine. Looks like everything is going well. Let's get back into the chat room and drink a little bit of water and see what's the deal. Okay, so Big R 20.0.0, that IP address is within my virtual network. It's like creating, how can I put it? Okay, it's like configuring a wireless router, right? And the wireless router, you have that ISP, you have that IP address that you provide your wireless router, right? That IP address is what gives internet access, and within your wireless router, you config an IP address pool. It could be anything. It could be 192.1.0.0. It could be anything, and you set it. You set a time. Not set a time. You set an address pool, and when your machines connect to this wireless router, that is the IP address that they're getting. Right? I think I'm saying it correctly. But once the virtual machine is done, I'm gonna show you guys the IP address that I'm able to access it, because again, Microsoft does provide me an IP address to get into it. Okay, that 20.0.0 that I use within the virtual NIC, that's within the Azure world. That network is within the Azure network. Okay, if you need to have access to your virtual machine, you can either do the IP address that they provide you, which I'm going to show you once this is created. It takes a while too, but for all your virtual machines to talk within Azure, they have to be within this VNet. Hopefully I'm explaining it right. I'm still learning how to do all this stuff. All right, we're going pretty strong. So far. 47 minutes in. It is May. I'm about to say October. It is May 20th, 2017. Saturday, every Saturday at 3 p.m. The server room. And today is episode 8, and we're dealing with virtual machines in Azure. This is something that I started doing this week, and I'm super excited, and I just want to show you guys what I've learned so far. I am willing to learn from you. If you have more knowledge than me, most likely you do, and you know what, if I'm doing something wrong or explaining it, hey, let me know at the chat. I got open ears. I will read, I will learn from you guys, but I'm picking stuff up this week because I have a couple of clients, as well as my work site, that is getting into Azure, and the reason why they want to get into Azure is because we want to take advantage of Azure AD, Active Directory, as a backup. You know, the plan is that they're thinking about having an Active Directory off the premise, so God forbid something happens to one of our Active Directories within our on-premise, that Active Directory off-site will kick in, and our users will be allowed to log into their machines and still have access to everything. So that basically means we have a couple of things that we need to upgrade, and that's definitely in our pipeline, our internet pipeline. So I'm excited about learning all this stuff. So, and the more that I'm learning each week, I'm gonna try to push out all this information to you guys. So let's do a refresh. Still deploying. This guy's still deploying. You get a nice little zoom in a little bit. So far it created the diagnostic storage. It created the IP. It created something. What is this VM? What is this guy? Okay, that is our network interface. Great. And now it is creating our virtual machine. All right, looks like we're doing pretty good, man. We're doing good. Time is doing good. I'm trying to do this show at least an hour. I don't want to be here for 2 hours. It's crazy. All right, still deploying. This takes some time for it to deploy. Again, if you guys have any comments or any feedback, let me know at the comment section. I'm always willing to learn from you guys. This is all new to me. This is some of the stuff that I picked up this week, and I literally started working on this stuff this Monday. And these are my notes right here. I'll show you guys. Those are my notes. It's just 7 steps and like little baby notes that I've took to do this video. Oh, it looks like our deployment has succeeded. Let's do a refresh. Awesome sauce. All right, cool. So let's go back into our virtual machine and let's click on VM01. And here goes. Awesome. So, cool. So here goes our public IP address. This is the IP address that Microsoft provides us. And once you start this machine up and you shut down this machine, that public IP address disappears. Like right now, the machine is already started. It's already up and running. It's already running, as you guys can see. And they give me a public IP address to access it. And the way that I'm going to remote into this machine is by using 3389, because I did that inbound rule. That's the only way I'm able to access it. As long as you create that inbound rule or create any kind of inbound rule. Again, you could do a custom one and change the TCP port to anything you want to have access remotely into this machine. Okay. And let's check out a couple things. Let's check out availability sets. We are set with that. This is our disk information. Awesome. Look at that, 128 gigs. Ooh, sweet. Nice. Cool. No extensions as of yet, but we will deal with that later. Network interface. This is our network interface. See, this is our private IP address right here. Let me zoom in. What happened? Let's close that. All right, so this is my private IP address, and this is my public IP address. Public IP address is what Microsoft provides me. As soon as you shut down this machine, literally, I mean, once you shut down this machine, this public IP address is released. That means you have to, if you want to have access to this within your on-premise infrastructure, you have to have a public IP address to assign it. Okay, you are able to do dynamic or static within your public IP address. And let's see, click on that. And let's click on that. I want to show you guys something real quick. And let's do configuration. Okay, so you guys see, right now, this is the reason why I'm getting this IP address. This IP address is from Microsoft. See, the existing IP address would be updated when changing the allocation type, which is the assignment. I could change it to static and give it something else. I can even assign a DNS label, which is optional. Again, this IP address is what Microsoft is providing me. So I'm going to get out of there. Let's close this. Let's close this. And yeah, so screw this. Let's go inside. Let's close this. And let's click back here. Sorry about that. Go to overview and let's click on connect. And once you click on connect, you are going to get this guy right here. So I'm going to do edit. Cool. Advanced. There you go. And I think that is my username. And we're going to click connect. And then we're going to give it the password. Remember the password that we gave it. Let's see if we're able to connect to this bad boy. And hit enter. And yeah, sure not. Why not? Hit yes. Let's close this. And we are literally remoting into our virtual machine that we created together. How fly is that? All right. We tried to log in. You guys try. Look, matter of fact, if you guys want to try to log into this machine, I say go for it. All right. But before you try to log into the machine, let me log into it first. Okay. Let me log into it first to let you guys know that it is working. Right now, it is starting and preparing Windows. And I will shoot the IP address to you guys in the chat room so you guys could log into it. You know, if you're able to log into it, create a text file within the desktop and leave your name as the file name. So again, if you're able to log into it, create a desktop within the desktop, create a text file with your name as the file name. But let me log into the machine first just to let you guys know that it is up and running. I mean, again, this virtual machine is for testing purposes. It's going to get shut down after the show. And the reason why it's going to get shut down is because if this machine is still up and running, I'm going to be charged. And I don't want to get charged so much money. So, again, I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to new. I'm going to go to text file. And I'm going to go Bernard. Oh, can't spell my name right. Look at that. Can't spell my name right. There you go, Bernardo. Awesome. Bernardo, cool. So right now the server manager is running. I'm just going to leave the information. I'm going to chat the information to you guys so you guys can play around because I love you guys. So right now it's going to be 52. 170 222 133 3389. All right, there it goes. All right, so I'm already logged in. So try to log in the desktop. Once you're logged in, create a text file with your name. I want to see how many of you logged in. I provided all the information on the live chat. I provided the IP address 52.170.222.1333 and colon 3389 because that is the remote. That is the the TCP IP to remote into RDP, and the username is BTNHD, and the password is the password that I left on the live chat. I want you guys to at least log in, get that experience of the virtual machine. All right, so I'm gonna log out of here. Okay. So if you guys. Just do it. Try to get in. See if you guys are able to try to get in. Okay. If you guys are able to get in, leave a text file right there. Boom. Someone kicked me out. Someone kicked me out. Oh, also the username is VM. Sorry. So username is VMO01. There we go. I changed the username. The username got to be the name of the container, which is VM01 / BTNHD, and just put that password. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like, so Big R, it looks like Microsoft themselves are doing a little bit natting behind their infrastructure. This is the reason why they're providing a public IP address. But you are able to go inside your virtual network and configure it to what you needed to configure. But because I'm testing everything out and I haven't really got into the virtual network side of it, for now I'm going to be using the public IP address. Okay, at the very bottom they give you a nice little network, CPU, disk bytes, disk operations. So I'm not gonna stop it because I know probably a lot of you guys are just probably hitting it. All right, and try it out. Log into the server that we built together on the live stream. How cool is that? How often do you guys get to check out a live stream and then test out the material? Awesome. But again, this machine is not gonna be up and running. I just lost my voice for a while. This machine is not going to be up and running. So once I shut down this machine or I hit stop, it's going to deallocate everything to release. And I won't get charged for the month, which is awesome, which is okay. And the public IP address would be gone. All right, I get something new the next time we have to deal with each other. So I want to deal with extensions. I don't have extensions within right here, so I'm going to click on the little guy right here, and let's type in extensions, because extensions actually gives you more options. Let's see if I could find it. Where are you? Trying to find extensions. Give me 1 second. I know there's a service call. I know there's a service call extensions. If I can't find it here, it's okay. I know another way of getting it. And where are you? Where are you? Crap, I don't know it. I can't find it. All right, whatever. So within the virtual machine, you have extensions right here. And within extensions, you can click on add. And within add, it actually takes you to a crap load. I was about to say a curse word. Sorry. It's going to take you to a bunch of resources. And it's really up to you which one you want. The one that I'm going to use today is the Microsoft anti-wear from Microsoft, which is pretty cool. You have more options right here. You have PowerShell, desired state configuration. You got Puppet agent that you could configure. This right here enables anti-wear event collection for your virtual machine. Click any part of the monitoring lens in the virtual machine blade for diagnostics. You could click on create, and you got to make sure that your virtual machine is turned on for this to happen. If it's turned on, it won't deploy, for what I've seen, because experience. You can actually exclude files and locations. So if you have multiple hard drives and you don't want your D or E drive not to be scanned, drop it in there. I'm gonna leave everything as the default. I'm not excluding any file extensions. I want everything to be scanned and protected by default. Let me just zoom in a little bit. The real-time protection is turned on by default. Run as scheduled scan. Disable it. Scan type is a quick, and it runs every Saturday, and its scan time is about an hour. So we're gonna click OK. So that's extensions. For what I've seen, there's not a lot of extensions within Azure. There's a couple of them, and the one that I liked so far is the Microsoft antivirus one, which is the one that we're deploying right now. So I'm gonna let that run. If you guys have logged into the virtual machine so far, shoot a comment right below. Let me know if you did. Were you successful? Were you not successful? Did you leave the text file with your name? Behave. Be nice. We're all adults here learning. Okay. So let's do a sum up, because we're getting close to the end, and the end is all about backup and restore. So far, the whole point of this live stream was me showing you guys what I've learned so far. I'm creating a virtual machine within Azure. I started learning this stuff this Monday, and I'm so passionate about it and excited about it. I just wanted to show you guys what I've learned so far. And probably those individuals that are watching have more experience. So if you have more experience, hey, let me know. I'm always willing to learn. So far, to create a successful virtual machine, you have to create a virtual network. Okay, that's why we created a virtual network. The next step is you need to create a network security group. Okay, network security group is your firewall. This is where you create inbound, outbound rules for your machine to talk from the outside or world. Next thing you need to do is create a storage account. Okay, this is most likely your storage. This is where your virtual machine stuff is being stored. So for our virtual machine, if we go into BTNHD storage, and I believe it's inside files. I think it's in files. No, it's not in files. Let's click out of this. I think it's in blog. All right. Let's close that up. Well, a storage account is basically your storage bin. This is where everything is being stored into. Okay. Also, your availability set. You need to create this, and once you create your availability set, you're able to create your virtual machine, which we did. Created a virtual machine. I gave you guys the credentials. Okay, wait a minute. So awesome. Wait a minute. I'm going back to the live chat, and the live chat, we have 2 people successfully logging in. We got MTD Net MDT Net, he logged in successfully. Nice, awesome. Hopefully MDT Net left a text file with his name. Awesome. We got Tony H. He's logged in as well. Got in, left my file. Beautiful. Thank you. Wow. So I'm so glad that you guys are experiencing it. This is what it's about, right? Experiencing it rather than just me showing you. But it was successful. Okay. So we are deploying an extension. It's still going. It's doing its thing. So let's end the live stream by doing a couple of things. Let's do a backup, which the backup is called the Resource Recovery Services Vault. So I'm gonna click on that guy, and again, very standard dialogue that we get. We don't have anything as of yet, so we're gonna click on Add for the first time. We got Jeff Hill. He got in too. Hopefully, Jeff, you left your text file with the instructions. This is exciting. I want to see how many of you guys are able to get in and try it out. This is great, right? So let me do zoom in while you guys are having fun. We are going to do is BTNHD, and let's do BKUP. Backup. Awesome. Anyone has set a new password? Oh, you guys already changing passwords? Come on. That's not good. You guys already changing passwords? That's crazy. That's nuts if you guys are already changing passwords. All right, so if you guys have changed the password to the virtual machine, share out the password. Don't change the password, guys. This is just for learning, just so you guys can experience that the virtual machine is successful and you guys are able to log in. All right, so within our recovery service vault, and again, the virtual machine is going to be shut down after the show. Within here, we gave it a name. Subscription depends on what you have. I'm going to use the existing one. And location is going to be East US, okay? And I'm going to click Create. All right, great. So right now we have two things happening right now in the deployment. It's creating our backup job. And once the backup job, that's already done. Actually, this is done too. An extension is completed, which is excellent. Ooh, look at that. Look at the goodies that we have. Sweet. Next thing that needs to be done, we pushed it out, the backup. Awesome. So let's go inside our recovery services, and we're going to click on that. And we need to go inside this little section right here, this section that says Get Started Backup. Because when we click on that, we don't have anything. We don't have any. If we go to Overview, and we go to Overview, we have no backup items. I have no servers within this backup section to backup. So we need to get into Getting Started Backup. Click on that. And we have three options. We have Backup Goal Select, Backup Policy Select, and Items to Backup. So with the step one, you have either Azure or on-premise. You can actually back up everything within your on-premise. Again, you probably need to have a strong bandwidth to do this, but for now I'm going to do Azure. What do you want to back up? Virtual machine. So we're going to go all the way down and click OK, and that's going to give us the second option. And the second option, again, I'm going to use the default now, but you are able to customize and create a new backup policy. The default one is daily 2:00 a.m. and the retention range is retention of daily backup point, retain backup taken every day at 2 p.m. for 30 days. So it keeps your snapshot for 30 days, wipes it clean, and then, starts over. All right, so we're going to go all the way to the bottom, click OK. Awesome. And the next one is items to back up. Okay, so because we only have one virtual machine within our infrastructure, that's the one that we're going to back up. And we're going to click OK. And we're going to go back over here to our notification. It's being deployed. And we're going to click OK there. Awesome. Awesome. Great. Great. So that's being processed. That's being deployed. All right. So that's being deployed. I'm going to go inside downloads and going to go into here. I'm going to go and click. Let's go. I'm going to log into the server. You probably guys change the damn password, right? And let's see how many people left their information on the desktop. I want to give you guys a shout out for those individuals that were able to get in. We got my man from Denmark. We got Tony right here. We got MDT Network. We got Jeff Hill. Wow, excellent. You four are awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Big shout out for these 4 individuals right here. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining the server, leaving your text file. That is such a beautiful thing. Awesome. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome. But yeah. So right now, we did that. It is trying to do its. We're doing the backup thing. It's succeeded. Okay, great. So we are going inside our research service vault. Click on that. And we have one. We haven't done a backup as of yet. So right now I'm going to click on backup. And wait a minute. I'm trying to remember what to do. Oh, here it goes. Within the backup items, click on backup items. And I'm trying to remember. Okay, wait a minute. Hold it back. Rewind. All right, going back because I'm trying to remember everything. So let's go inside virtual machines, and within virtual machines, click on that. Click on your virtual machine. Cool. And within virtual machines, you have an option that says backup. Where are you? Backup. Right here, backup. Great. Awesome. So we haven't backed up anything, so we're going to just click backup now. And this is the retain backup title, which is this guy right here. All right. And we're going to just click backup. And the triggering backup for VM01. So we are taking a somewhat clean version of our virtual machine, right? It's clean. It's, my thing is, once you create your virtual machine, you have everything up to date. You push out all the Windows updates. And that's one thing. The machine that you create within Azure is not fully up to date. So you have to push out Windows updates. Believe it or not. Yeah. You still have to push out Windows updates. Once you get all the Windows updates, you configure it, you install whatever roles and features. Once you have all your roles and features, the next thing you need to do is back it up. Take a nice clean backup of it working, right? With all the roles and features or whatever updates or applications that you have in it. Like if you have a SQL database and all that stuff installed of it, just do a clean backup of it. So within the notifications, I'm going to click on whatever process that we're doing, which is the backup, and it's backing up. Just gotta wait now. So let's go back here. Let's go here, and still waiting. It's just a waiting game right now. It's just a huge waiting game. We just have to wait. We just have to wait until it's completed. Let's go inside virtual machine. VM01. Gives you a nice little what's what over here. Cool. Back up. Nothing's been back up. And we're still going. All right. So the backup is still going. It's going to take a while because it really depends. It's still backing up. So I'm going to let it back up. But this is pretty exciting. I'm excited. I don't know about you guys. Now to recover, once you have a complete backup of your virtual machine, you go back inside the recovery service vault. You click on the BTN, you click on your backup service that you created, and within there you would do site recovery. And within site recovery, you would just do your on-premise machine, or you could do for on-premise machine for Azure virtual machines. Again, I haven't played too much on this, but I am going to. But for now, this is what I've learned so far with Azure and virtual machines. And I'm going to go back inside the chat room. And before I let you guys go, so big Jeff H said, can you back it up to a local drive too? That's a good question. I don't know. I really don't know. Anyone out there that has experience with Azure is capable of answering that question. Jeff Hill states the following question: Can you back it up to a local drive too? Well, Jeff, I can't really tell you 100% sure that it can, because I'm still getting into the whole virtual infrastructure thing. But I will definitely find out and go over it on the next, video, not video, with the next live stream that we do together. I would definitely let you guys know. But from my understanding, I don't know as of yet. But overall, guys, I'm super excited. I'm happy that you guys joined on a Saturday, and we're going strong for an hour and 15 minutes, which is not that bad. I'm about to end the stream. I'm gonna leave it open for, let's say, 5 more minutes, and then we're gonna cut it. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them at the bottom of the video, at the live chat. If you have comments that you want me to see later on, make sure you wait until the live stream is over, because the live chat stuff disappears. Come back to the channel, leave your comment there so I could come back and read it. And also a couple of you guys recommending stuff to do. Again, make sure you come back to the channel and leave that comment so I could see it. I could be notified. I could view it. I could take note of it, because a lot of stuff in the live chat disappears after the stream is over, and that kind of sucks. So Andrew Miller answered Jeff, and Andrew states, I don't think it allows you to do so. All right. So Andrew, are you experienced with Azure? Have you dealt with Azure in the past? If you have, that's awesome, man, because if you got any tips or tricks, I'm here to listen. I would love to learn. Again, we're gonna 5 more minutes. We got 4 more minutes, 3 more minutes, and we're gonna cut it short. For those individuals that remoted into our fresh virtual machine that we created together, thank you so much for getting in there, doing your thing. I'll probably keep the virtual machine up and running until maybe 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And so if you guys want, you can get in there, start playing around, install whatever you want. Don't install whatever you want, but, at least get the feel of it. I'm going to shut it down at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time just to kill and release the public IP address that Microsoft sent me, because if not, they're going to charge me an arm and a leg. Yes, I do agree with you, Jeff. It does make sense. It would be nice to have it clear, to have a backup of your virtual machine, a local backup, and then if anything happens, you could take that local backup and upload it to Azure and then take advantage of it. But I have to find out if that's possible. It would make sense that they will allow you to back it up. But, it's Microsoft. Who knows? All right. So my backup job is still going. Just have to wait. Cool. Awesome. Backup job is still going, so I just have to wait until it's completely done. But overall, guys, man, we're doing good. Oh, Andrew Miller say I use it and retailer it to customers. Awesome. So Andrew Miller, he's a user. You're a guru. That's awesome, man. I'm happy that you joined. So, for your opinion, how I'm doing so far, Andrew Miller? You're an expert. You've used it in the past. I want to know some feedback. How did I do? Did I do good or what? This is my first time playing around with Azure. I've been trying to get my hands into Azure for the longest, and I had an opportunity, or I still got the opportunity to play with it even more, to implement it within my work environment, as well as a couple of client sites that I'm dealing with. So I'm super excited, and I'm still learning from this. But I would definitely want to know Andrew Miller. He's an expert. He's used before. I want to know your 2 cents. Did I do good today or what? Let me know. Be honest. Well, right now I established Andrew Miller states, are you guys talking about the initial backup, the first backup? Well, Andrew, I went inside the recovery service vault, and I created a new service right here. And within here, I went into the backup backup, and I created I created a policy to point or to add our virtual machine that we created together right here. So this is a backup item right here. Okay. That backup item is this guy right here. Oh, and it looks like it passed. Last backup check. I get a warning, initial backup. So let's click on that. And I guess because I haven't done a backup, I'm getting that warning. But right now it is backing. It should be backing up because I physically went inside the virtual machine section, went inside the virtual machine that we created, and within there, within the overview, within this section right here, I went to backup, and I just said backup now. Okay, that's what we did. So I'm just forcing the backup policies to go rather than wait until Saturday 2 a.m. for it to initiate itself. Nah, dude, Andrew Miller, you're an expert. Never say that you're never an expert. If you dealt with a service and you're positive to get yourself up and running with any type of service, you're an expert. Doesn't matter. You're an expert. I consider you an expert. All right, guys. So I'm going to end it right here. A backup is still going. It's going to take a while. Again, the virtual machine is pretty big. It's 128 gigs of the virtual machine. So it's backing all that stuff up. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Leave comments right below. Make sure that you share the video, like the video. If you left a comment requesting some type of video that you want me to touch base on, the live chat disappears once I cut this. Come back later once the live stream is fully rendered and it's out on the channel. Come back to it, leave a comment there because they would notify me by email, and I would take a note of that. And again, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you for those individuals that stayed. Thank you again for those individuals that were able to remote into the server and leave that text file with your name. That was awesome. And again, I'll catch you guys next week. Hopefully next week. Catch you guys later. Peace out. All right, how you end this? I guess you end it by pressing this. All right, I'm out of here. No, seriously, I'm out of here.